So what do I think about the Insta360 Go 3 now that I've had it for a few days? Here's my quick review of what I love about this new camera 1 week later, and the stuff I didn't like so much. Let me start by saying that the Go 3 and Action Pod system is definitely growing on me. I find myself liking it more and more each day. Let me be clear, Insta360 did send me a pre-production unit to test and review, but they didn't pay me and have not sponsored any of my videos ever. But I can say that I haven't picked up my Go 2 since I started using the Go 3, apart from looking at the case and wishing the Go 3 was as sleek and as compact. More on that later. Firstly, let me tell you why the Go 3 has grown on me and why I can't see myself going back to the Go 2. First, if you're old enough, can you remember what it was like to text on an old dumb phone, like, you know, an old Nokia? That was T9 texting, where you had to hit the button repeatedly to cycle round to the letter you want and then move on to the next letter. Now, you could get surprisingly quick at this, and people indeed were proud of themselves for doing it. But then smartphones came and T9 texting all but disappeared because there were easier ways of achieving the same outcome, and so much more. This reminds me of the method of trying to select options and change settings on the Go 2. It was effective for the device and the space available, but if the Go 3 is the smartphone and the Go 2 is the Nokia, the Go 3 just offers so much more. I couldn't go back to that way of choosing options and settings. It's just too inefficient now that I've seen what the Go 3 can do. Second, I'm loving the 2-mic system. You may have seen my video testing out this new 2-mic array on the Go 3 and the different algorithms, and I have to say that I was impressed. I think this is a great solution. I just wish they'd also put 1 or 2 in the Action Pod 2. That would have made it perfect. Third, I love the new mounting system. Yes, it's not as slick and compact as the magnet and sticky mount system for the Go 2, I'll definitely say that, but it is a lot more secure with the clamp and magnet system combined. Fourth, I love the new timed capture setting, meaning I don't have to get up to get great dawn time lapses anymore. This is just great. Check out my first impressions video for the full example of that. The link is in the description. Fifth, I'm loving the vastly improved battery life of the camera unit itself. The Go 3's battery is bigger and shoots up to 45 minutes. That's 50% longer than the Go 2. And when it's in the Action Pod, it gives you the confidence to shoot long if you need to, or lots of short captures without needing to head to a power source quite as often. That, for me, is a big plus. So what do I not like so much about the Go 3? What could be improved? It's certainly not as elegant a solution as the Go 2. I do still look longingly as the nice AirPods-like case of my Go 2 and wished the Go 3 could be as elegant. I also worry about that screen too. Not so much the lens, because that cover easily screws off and is replaceable pretty cheaply. Not so much that screen though. And the accessories, though functional, are also not as neat and tidy as the Go 2. Whereas you could fit everything nicely in one pocket with the Go 2, the case, the camera in that case, nice and protected, and that sticky mount and the hat clip too, that would be a much bulkier pocket for the Go 3, and I'd be worried about the mount scratching my screen. The second dislike I have is that because the camera unit is exposed, it's far too easy to accidentally start recording with just one tap, switching it on and starting recording if you've got that quick capture mode on, and that's kind of how I use it. If I have it in my pocket or in a bag and you get any pressure on the camera unit, it will start recording, taking up your space and draining your battery. You can work around it, but it's something that can be irritating. Third, there's no way of expanding the built-in memory or carrying around spare batteries. Yes, it is a kind of a standalone device, but you're actually paying GoPro-like prices without getting that GoPro flexibility in terms of memory or the possibility of extra batteries. So that's a downside for many people. And let's face it, my fourth quibble is that it still has a pretty clunky way of connecting to your phone to process your footage. It's not particularly reliable, and it can drain the battery of both your phone and your device pretty quickly using Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. Yes, there is a USB port where I can offload 2.7K footage to my iPad Pro, but what I'd really like to see is a quick reader equivalent. Maybe where you can put in an SD card to offload your footage and process it on your mobile device, clearing space on the Go 3 and meaning a real physical connection, so you're not using your Wi-Fi to connect to the camera and burning through your mobile data whilst doing that whilst your phone is doing stuff in the background. Fifth, that screen can't actually preview all the shots you take, like a time lapse or a time shift. You actually have to go to the app to do it, which is pretty inconvenient. And I hope that that can be fixed in a firmware update. Even taking these points into account, in sum, I can say that the more I use the Go 3, the more I like it, and the more ways I can see to use it. Listen, I haven't even touched on flash cuts, photos, and other aspects of the Go 3, and even ideas I have to improve it via firmware upgrades and third-party hardware. Be sure to come back for more thoughts on that with me. If you like this video, please give it a like and a share and a sub maybe. Here's more from me if I think that you would like, and don't forget to check out my Go 3 playlist. Laters out there everyone, and have fun.